I know where there's some, right here in the hall, clerk.
No, Molly, not in there. I have
enough. Okay, this is the underside of the turntable. To orient you, the AC drive motor is right here. Through the shaft goes up through the base and connects to a rubber wheel that turns the platter on the outside, like I'm doing by hand. And when it's running, one thing when I'm going through this, to keep in mind that this mechanically depends on gravity. It should be setting like this, and gravity should be holding everything down. But like, for example, this little bushing right here, that has a very important purpose, but it depends on gravity to hold it down unless it's pushed up by this cam. So that works by gravity. The clutch assembly, which is in here, also works by gravity. Fortunately, this solenoid operates the clutch assembly. So we'll go through how it's supposed to work, and I will serve as the motor, since I don't even know if the motor works. It probably does, but certainly the rubber discs that drives the motor does not work. So the platter is spinning, and this clutch assembly is spinning around because it's directly connected to the platter, not to the spindle. The spindle is stationary and is attached at the bottom right here. But the platter is connected directly to this clutch assembly right here. So as the platter spins, the clutch assembly spins. When the consumer pushes the reject button, two things happen. The solenoid fires and pushes this Y finger up against the clutch. Secondly, at the other end of this lever, there's a pawl that sticks down in a slot in this gear, and that comes up and out so that this gear can turn. So up in here, the solenoid fires, the clutch is engaged, it releases this gear, and up in here, there's a finger that grabs. The finger's right here, grabs, and another finger, and starts to rotate this whole mechanism around here. At this point, the Y finger, the solenoid, no longer needs to fire because this is being held in place because this pin is crawled up out of the hole, out of the slot, and now is riding along the edge of this gear. So the solenoid is disabled, so it doesn't go bang, 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 bang. The turntable keeps turning, powers this entire mechanism. And right here is the next player that we're interested in. When the turntable is in the 12-inch position, this is swung out of the way. This cam is swung out of the way. The only one in play is this one, and this has fallen down because of gravity. And watch what happens when the turntable continues to turn. This is the one, recall, it's connected to the tone arm, which you can't see back here, but there it is, all lit up. As the turntable continues to turn, this cam continues to, or this gear continues to swing around until it catches this edge of this cam, which pulls the record in this way, or the tone arm in, until it's in position. Now for a 12-inch record, it would stick out an inch beyond the edge of this frame. For a 10-inch, it's within the distance of this frame, but for 12-inch, it's there. And then another mechanism you can't see lowers the tone arm. There's a pin that holds it up. The pin is lowered, and I'll show you that. It's right here. There's a slot cut for the pin. the pin is lowered and the record comes, the tone arm comes down and hits the record. At that point, the solenoid has fallen back into its slot, the clutch is no longer engaged, and the chain stops working. So that's kind of how it all works. There are a number of, this is a grounding switch, a number of switches and adjustments that you can make. But fundamentally, for a 12-inch record, that's how it works. The only difference with a 10-inch, and again, I'll watch this, I'll switch it back to 10-inch, is, yes, oop, almost there. What happens here is what's different. Again, the solenoid fires, engages the clutch begins the business of turning the chain. Oops, I missed that one. Let's try it again. Okay, the solenoid no longer needs to fire because the clutch is being engaged, because this pin is out of its slot. This turns, this turns, this turns, this turns. You might have noticed the tone arm moving back because the pin that pushes it up and down works right here. I'll turn this a little bit further and we can see that. But now what happens is this will push the this roller up so that the fat part of it is now pushing this cam, which will change the angle, the place where this rotates to and sets down, which we'll see here in a second. So now this fat part of the cam is engaged, and I'll kind of hold that, and it goes further in to exactly there, and then, oops, I let it fall, sorry, to there, and then the pin underneath here allows the tone arm to set down onto the record, like that.